I'm here with Craig Ogle. He is running for First Ward Greeneville City School board member. And Craig, first off, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Reed. And first of all, just thank you for the opportunity to come and just share with you a few of my thoughts about Greeneville and the Greeneville City Schools and why I think it's so important to be involved in this great school system that we have. As most of you may know, I was born and raised here in Greeneville. I've lived here most of my life. I attended Tuscanville Elementary School, Greeneville Middle School, and Greeneville High School, and I went on then from there to go on to UT in Knoxville, where I majored in ag business and finance. And from there, I went on up to Louisville, Kentucky for about 3 years. And I tell people that the best thing that came out of Kentucky was my wife, Leslie. But when we got married, we knew we wanted to raise our family here in a small town environment. So we did come back, and actually we're celebrating our 32nd anniversary just this year. All of my 3 children are products of the Greeneville City Schools. They've all been very successful and had a wonderful experience. And over those years, we've been involved in many activities, sports and dance and football and baseball, cheerleading, band, GSIA, and all those things that parents love to get involved in while their kids are involved in school. I'm presently employed at Heritage Community Bank, which is a local community bank, which, by the way, is we're celebrating our 15th year anniversary just this year. And in addition to my professional duties that I do, I try to stay involved in our community in other civic organizations. I'm one of the longest serving members of the Greeneville Lions Club. I serve on the Greeneville Parking Authority and the Greeneville High School Hall of Fame Committee. In addition to these activities, I enjoy serving at Tusculum Baptist Church as a deacon, chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee, member of the Long Range Planning Committee, Sunday school teacher, and treasurer. But one of the most enjoyable passions, I guess, is serving children, and that's the reason that we're here today.
And so why have you decided to run for re-election?
Well, I think that's another great question, and I recall as a young student at Tuscanville Elementary School, Reed, back in the late 60s and early 70s. I'm not going to date myself, but I remember one of my classmates' father was a member of the Greeneville City Board of Education, and I've always admired that person, none other than Ray Adams, a local CPA here in town. And so as a result of that and those fond memories I had of just how I looked up to Ray, I decided once I got back here in Greeneville and got settled that I would like to serve in a higher capacity. So I was, in fact, elected to serve back in the board in 1999, and I'm just now completing my 20th year as a school board member. During that time, I've had the opportunity to serve as treasurer for a number of years, and I'm now serving my 7th year as board chairman. And I believe I would just say I'm running because I loved kids then, I still love kids, and I don't believe there's a better work to be done in this community than serving our children.
And what do you think is the best thing happening at Greeneville City Schools currently?
Well, that's a really good question, and I'm going to try to condense this because there's so many great things going on, Reed. But let me try to narrow it down to maybe 4 areas that I believe our school system excels at. And I guess I'd have to start by saying we have a really great working relationship with our local funding body, the town of Greeneville. Our city fathers provide over 20% of our direct revenue from their budget every year to the tune of over $5.6 million this current year. On top of that, we receive a portion of the annual property tax revenue and sales tax that is collected in the city. And together, these revenues total almost half of our annual budget every year. Our budget is around $28 million. And so in addition to providing a revenue stream for our students, the city has more importantly embraced innovative partnerships with our school system. They provided student resource officers for each of our 6 schools, Reed, and we've had those for several years now, and just what a great benefit we've had from this joint venture. Just this past year, the town provided funding for the state-of-the-art security systems for all our schools. And as we know, safety is so important these days, and that's just really helped us so much. We also partner with the town of Greeneville with an information technology professional who provides network and PC support for our police department. And I believe this is the first such partnership that I'm aware of in the state of Tennessee. And secondly, I guess the other thing would be our employees. We have around 550 employees, and that fluctuates a little bit throughout the year. But these numbers put us as being the third largest employer in the town of Greeneville. Almost half of that staff, 251, are certified by the state of Tennessee as being licensed to teach students. And of that number, of that 251, Reed, 47% of those folks have gone back to school and completed a master's on their own. In addition to that, another 6% have gone on additionally to obtain a master's degree with 30 hours of college credit. In addition to that, another 8% of those have an educational specialist title, and 4% of our employees have doctorates. So that adds up to about 173 individuals who've gone above and beyond the minimum teaching requirements and are serving in our system. So employees, obviously, very, very strong. And I think the third thing that sets us apart is our innovation. One of the things that distinguishes us from others is the freedom that we give our staff to teach our students. You know, education today does not fit the old model that I remember when I was sitting in school in the neat rows in the classroom and the teacher lecturing on the chalkboard. Those days are gone, and you go into any elementary school today, Reed, and I think you'll find beanbags, bouncy balls, and a variety of group areas where students can relax and learn at their own pace in a different environment. Through these group interactions and sharing among each other, I think students have the opportunity to learn in multiple ways, and I think that's really what makes us unique, and the fact that we give our teachers the freedom to have that innovation. And then finally, I guess the one thing that I'm very proud of that's very unique to East Tennessee and even Tennessee is the Green Technology Center. Our technology center continues to grow and expand. And in fact, in today's work environment where specialized tradesmen are in high demand and we're seeing more and more local industries just have a shortfall for specialized trades, we've introduced this technical path, and this path at the Green Technology Center has allowed students to come straight out of high school and enter the local workforce with a very marketable skill that's in high demand. And I believe, Reed, that we're going to continue to see this emphasis in the coming years on technology and trade skills simply because the market is demanding it. We've always thought professionals were the way to go, but we need blue-collar workers. We need people that are willing to get out there and get their hands dirty, that demonstrate that they can provide a service and a skill, and they're doing that. In addition, we've really worked hard, Reed, to develop a strong partnership with Tennessee College of Applied Technology. We call it TCAT, and that's out of Morristown. And that partnership offers dual enrollment opportunities for our high school students and adult ed as well. But they currently offer 6 different enrollment programs today for our local students, including collision repair, welding, cosmopolity, computer information, machine tool, and electricity, that without that partnership we would not be able to continue. And I guess I would have to say I know that over the years we've had a lot of accolades and recognitions, and I could go on about those, but let me just mention a couple of those because I think this does help set us apart, that we can be proud of. So, for instance, we've been ranked number 1 as the best public school district in Tennessee not once but twice by Business Insider and Niche Rankings. We're currently ranked 6th in the United States by the Center for Digital Education for innovative uses of technology. We've been named an exemplary district by the Tennessee Department of Education for the past 2 years. And I'm also proud of our middle school because our middle school has been named a Microsoft Showcase School this past year, of which only 40 such schools, Reed, in the nation have this distinction. And I believe we're the only one in the state of Tennessee that has that distinction as a showcase school. Finally, I'd be remiss if I mentioned that Tuscan View Elementary School has been recognized as a 3-time National Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, and that is the only one in the state to achieve this designation 3 times over. And of course, the list could go on and on.
And what do you think could be improved at Greeneville City Schools?
Well, I think there's always room for improvement in different things, and I guess when I think about what could be improved, I want to focus on things that really can help the students of this educational system, the Greeneville City Schools. And I think the first thing is funding. We can always ask for more money, and it's important to realize that if you receive more money, then you're accountable for that money. But while we've always been good stewards of our resources, both the federal government and the state of Tennessee continue to push down new directives and requirements each year without providing the additional resources to pay for them. We call this in the school system an unfunded mandate because it's required, and all schools have to comply with these rules and regulations, but yet the state or the federal government leaves us to find funds from our existing budgets to pay for that. And so funding always will remain critical as long as they continue to push down what they want us to do to meet their expectations. I think the second thing that's my goal, Reed, is to improve teacher salaries. As we continue to be recognized as one of the top achieving school systems in the state, salary levels for all of our staff do not necessarily reflect that. We constantly monitor our rankings among our peer schools who we have identified as top performing schools, with the rationale that if our expectation level is to be the very best for our students, then we should reward those individuals who make that happen. I'm pleased to report that we've built into our budget this coming year a 3% raise for our employees to recognize them, and I think we're going to make that happen as well. And I think finally, one of the other things that I'd like to see improvement on is just being able to maintain our physical facilities. Most people don't realize it, Reed, but we have over 46 acres of buildings under roof. And it's just hard to keep those buildings warm in the winter and cool in the fall. It's also hard to keep those buildings dry, Reed, because in addition to our 6 schools, we maintain the George Clem Operations Facility and our central office, named after one of our late school board members, Miss Kay Leonard.
And is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Well, I guess I'd just say this. What an honor it's been to serve on the Board of Education for the last 20 years. When I first came on the board, we were right in the middle of a major renovation project at Greeneville High School. We were over budget, underfunded, and we were given serious consideration of relocating to a larger area off the Belton Road. Thankfully, we stayed in the heart of downtown, and our high school has continued to be a beacon for visitors and prospective businesses wanting to locate here. You ask any business development person today, and I think they'll tell you the same thing. Prospective industries and companies looking to come to the city want to know what kind of worker the local school system is producing. And finally, I'm so proud of my fellow board members. Between all these board members, this system has over 61 years of combined school board experience working for them. Board members serve selfishly each year without compensation. And I see so many of our 141 school districts across the state today who compensate board members just to get them to serve. We're one of only 21 systems in the state, Reed, where board members serve graciously without pay. You may ask why I want to continue to serve and why I seek re-election to the Board of Education, and I'm sure the citizens are asking that as well. But I'll tell you the truth. My motivation is just simply the desire to continue to devote my time and my efforts in what I believe is the best service I can do for the future of this community, and that's pouring my God-given talents and passion back into the children of this community.
That was Craig Ogle. He's running for 1st Ward, Greeneville City School Board member.